All right, guys. Injury update. Mims was out today with a hamstring. Vincent Smith, he's got a core injury. He's going to be seeing a specialist. So, we'll wait on the results of that to kind of really give you guys a timeline. Kafusi has a hamstring. Cam Clark was out today with a shoulder. Right now, he'll be week to week. Deshir hamstring. Jabari quad. Brian Poole, we held out today. He went through practice. The last practice we had a really, a rough one with that dehydration. We don't have him back to where we want. We're being extra precautionary, obviously, on that to make sure that he's in a better place than what he was, where he's at right now. So, we're just trying to be smart with that. It was better today than it was the other day. Second day out, I did think, we have a long ways to go. We got a lot of things to work on. Especially just making sure guys are in the kind of football shape we need them to be in. That's why we're going through what we're going through right now with the practices and the walkthroughs and just trying to get everybody playing as fast as possible, and then at the same time getting these guys in the kind of shape they need to be for the season. So, with that, whatever you guys got.
Can you talk a little bit about the signing you guys are making here on Hogan and what you believe he can bring to the offense?
Yeah, it's obviously we're a little thin right now. We got two guys that aren't practicing. He's somebody that's names come up quite a bit around here when we were talking about guys to add, and he's a guy that's going to be able to come in here, pick up the offense very quickly. It's going to be familiar as far as a lot of the things that he's done in the past. Obviously competing against him quite a bit. Just feel like he's a good fit for us.
Adam, can you explain how the COVID protocols pertain to a guy like Hogan and also with the new tight end who was out there today?
We brought him in, 4 days ago or 5 days ago for a tryout because they got to go through all the COVID testing before we even can try him out. So he's been here for a while. There was a couple of guys that we worked out that basically were here, went through all the testing, and then we work them out, and then, one guy gets to stay. So it's with Chris, it's you're not going to see him out there for a little bit, So that's the toughest part that we're kind of maneuvering through when you have two guys go down back-to-back days at one position and the roster size is 80. Now all of a sudden it changes things in practice really fast.
How challenging can that be, Adam? Not just in training camp, but during the regular season. A lot of times you guys know guys injured on Monday, you bring people in Tuesday, and you expect to have them on the field on Wednesday.
Right.
That's not going to happen this year, right?
Right. That's something that we're a long ways from right now. I think that's why the practice squad's kind of going to be bigger than what it's been in the past. Training camp, the hardest thing is it's if it's the same position. If you have multiple injuries at the same position, all of a sudden you can get thin fast. Especially usually it happens at corner and wideout. And a lot of times when it happened in the past, you had 12 guys going in or 11 receivers going in. You lose a couple of guys, it's not decimating. Right now, like we're at 8. And all it takes is a couple other guys to start getting sore, and you have their workload increases. So it's kind of makes it tough.
Sorry about that, Adam. Coming into the season, obviously with Sam, he was going to, he already had a couple of new targets, to get used to, and obviously Robbie John was kind of a familiarity for him. How much of a burden does this put on him now with this receiving situation as it is?
I think he's handling everything great right now. Obviously with Crowder being back, it seems like him and Perryman haven't figured out a way to hook up really quick. Today was great to see those guys kind of connect on a few things. And then just a lot of the guys that we've been working in with his group have been here. So he knows a lot. He knows a lot of the guys that we're working with that aren't brand new, and people might not know who they are right now. But we had some good young players last year that developed and are giving themselves a shot to contribute with us this year.
Adam, how do you feel about the overall talent level of the receiver room? Is that something you see being a problem this year, or are you excited?
No, I like this group. I like our young guys. I like the way our guys have developed. I think you're always going to look at it as, hey, how do we improve? I mean, that's what Joe and his crew does. I mean, they're always going to be looking to find somebody else to, if somebody's available that can help our group, they won't be afraid to go get them. I think we're in a spot where it's kind of our second round draft pick hasn't practiced yet, and then Vince goes down. I mean, he started a lot of games for us last year, and I think, like I said, Adam Perriman, Crowder being back, Berrios has a role for us. I mean, Herndon being back. I mean, you got to look at it as a big picture with our running backs with Le'Veon and Frank, and we got a rookie that is able to do a lot of things coming out of the backfield. I think you do have a lot of guys that really can kind of share the load at the skill spot.
Is Herndon a guy, Adam, that you believe has some ability to play receiver if need be?
Yeah, I mean, that probably wouldn't be something I'd be looking to do with him. I mean, I like it where we got him, especially. I mean, I've only seen him play 9 plays in a game, so I mean, I'm gonna let him play tight end. I mean, we got enough wide receivers that I wouldn't even think to do that.
One more quick. You mentioned Cameron Clark is week to week with that shoulder issue. Is that a similar diagnosis that you would give with Mims with that hamstring, or is he more?
Yeah, I mean, it's the hamstrings to me are it's so tough to predict because everybody reacts different, and some guys start feeling better a lot faster, and some guys it goes longer, and everybody has a kind of different feel. Some guys I've been around have to be 100% before they even go back out there and compete at the level they need to compete at. Some guys could do it when it was 65% and find a way to push through and keep strengthening. So, obviously this is our first go around with him with any kind of injury. So, we're going to have to kind of figure out, where he's at, how fast he's going to progress.
Did Clark get hurt in practice yesterday?
2 days ago. It was just kind of one of those things where it was like a freak deal where his arm got extended and kind of in his shoulder kind of got tied up.
Adam, how did Frank look to you out there today?
Looked good. I mean,
was he pushing you to get back out there?
Yeah, I mean, he's the worst when it comes to trying to, have a conversation with and convince him of what you think when it comes to playing football. He don't want to hear any of that. He wants to be on the field. He wants to get reps. He wants to contribute. He wants to, go out there and compete against those guys. I think it's fun for him because he played against us last year. So, he's competed against our players, and now being on the same team, practices. I mean, you can see why the guy's still playing. He runs out there on the first day, like it's the first time he practiced in the NFL. I mean, you can tell that's why he still plays. He still loves it. He still loves the first practice. Like, he's excited about it. He's nervous about it. I mean, it's pretty cool to see a guy that's, a future Hall of Famer that still gets like that.
Adam, what have you seen from Brashad so far, and what have you learned about him over whatever you can talk to him?
He did a great job of making sure he knew the ins and the outs of the offense through what we did over the spring. But at the same time, you can tell he took time this summer to study throughout the summer, because when he showed up and we were able to start doing walkthroughs, he doesn't make mistakes. He knows where to line up. He knows what to do. He knows the adjustments. He's been in a few different offenses, so he's figured out how to translate what he's known into what we're doing. And then he's able to play at that speed that we've seen him play before. And for him, that's not always easy when you're in a brand new offense, because you start thinking, well, he doesn't look like he's thinking to me. He's just going out there and executing the play that's called. And I've been extremely impressed by him, the way he works. And then, like today, when you see him run and he gets loose down the field, then you really start going, okay, now I see this, well, let's do this, this, and this. So, the wheels start turning when you see this guy making plays in practice and really putting pressure on our secondary.
Adam, you guys are
Adam, I know that you said Sam's processing more quickly. He knows the offense, command of the offense. But are his mechanics a little quicker? Do you see anything in terms of that? And if I may, it looked like Marcus May was back to return punts. What was that?
Yeah, we're just working a whole bunch of guys as far as the punt returner stuff. Barrios has plenty of experience. He does the job exactly the way where we ask him to do it, and we always have to be prepared. And the more guys that can go back there, and sometimes Marcus is a guy that if you ask him to go play guard, he'd probably go do it just because he'll do whatever he needs to do to help the team win. So I mean, he's one of those guys. He goes, I can do it, and he goes back there and practices it just in case something comes up in a game. And with Sam, I think everything for him is quicker. When I watch him right now, it's just even when you call the play, he doesn't have to wait for me to finish. He just kind of starts going. He's able to start his operation with me still talking, and then it just seems like everything's a step faster this year. He seems way more comfortable. He's not thinking about, all right, what's the play call? Where's this guy at? What's this guy got to do? What's the adjustment? You can tell he's not thinking about all the little things you do in the first year of a playbook. It's just coming out. He knows it, and then you can see he's focused on protection, the coverage, and where the ball's going to go. And then his mechanics definitely, the way that he's dropping and the way the ball's coming out, it does. Everything seems like it's a lot faster than what it was last year.
Adam, are you going full pads tomorrow for the first time?
We'll go to uppers. We'll kind of progress into full pads. We'll get into it this week, but we'll go uppers to start. Like the shoulder pads, just not the pants.
How much does that change the dynamic of practice, and how much are you kind of looking forward to that progression?
When we get the uppers on, we treat it like we're in full pads. We expect our guys to stay off the ground anyways. We look at it as we should be able to thud up, wrap up, stay up. If you do it right, you should be able to practice in uppers.
Adam, what role do you envision for Chris Herndon this year in the offense? Like, what is your ideal spot for him?
Yeah, he's our starting tight end. It's just going to be about we move him around a lot. He plays both on the inline. He plays off the ball. Kind of when we go two tight end sets, it could be him and Wesco, and they both can play both spots. We have specific things that we like to do with both those guys, and especially when Ryan gets back. Chris gives us a lot of flexibility because it's rare to have a guy with the ability to be as effective as a pass catcher and a guy that's explosive when he gets the ball in his hands and still be an on-the-line tight end that can block in the run game and also pass protect. Chris does give you, something that you just don't see a lot with all tight ends throughout the league where you can say, I can leave him in protection and feel comfortable. If we're running a play to his side, I'm not worried about anything because he does a really good job of using the technique he's coached, knowing what to do, and he's physical. Chris is a guy that has rare traits in that aspect.
With Mekhi, you get a sense that he's swimming right now?
Nope. Not even close to swimming. He looks like he's been doing this for a minute. It looks very natural for him. I'm like you guys. Anytime a rookie gets plugged into that starting offensive line, we all know it's a lot, and especially going against the defense, our defense every day, you're getting a lot of different looks. He looks comfortable to me, and he's not making mistakes. I've been extremely impressed by how he's operating as far as his knowledge of football, how he's retaining things, acquiring the information, recalling it, and then at the same time executing and playing fast. Like, he's doing a really good job.
Also, did you mention this year with
Yeah.
Is he still out of the hamstring?
Yes.
Okay.
Adam, how do you see the kicking competition kind of playing out? Because these guys look pretty good. Do you think that is one of the things that might go down to the end where you have to?
Yeah, I think we're a ways away from.
Yeah.
The reason we got them both in here because we feel we like both those guys. So we got to kind of see how this. We got to give both these guys every opportunity they can to battle this thing out and figure out which guy's best for us by the time we hit the first game.
Take a couple more. Or not. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, Adam.
Yep.